your name?
Magda
What is
my
your name?
My name is Magda.
Your name is Mansa.
Magda.
Bansa.
Magda.
Mazda.
Magda. Magda.
Mark it down.
Magda.
Eh?
Magda. Magdalene. The full
Okay.
name.
Ha! Since I am here, you know, say Magda. Mazda.
No, I didn't say Mazda.
Manta.
Good evening once more. My name is Maazi. Ezeoke. I welcome you to this evening Friday Hangout where we have conversations every Friday. And this segment on my Friday Hangout, as usual, I'm your host. I'm going to be diving into the dynamics of Nigerian political landscape. This evening, I will be focusing on the ADC CoPdem alliance. Many of you may have read in the media, I think about 2 weeks ago, you may have read a statement from the ObiDient movement. Some of you may have been confused as to what is happening. CoPdem is the coalition for CoPdem is the coalition for the protection of democracy, which was an offshoot that came to life after the 2023 presidential election. Obviously, as it was then, many people who are in CoPdem are those who consider themselves as ObiDient or those within the ObiDient movement. Having said that, CoPdem had gone into alliance with Action for Democracy. As you know, that alliance obviously brought a lot of conversation where people were confused as to what was happening. And this evening, I have the chairman of CoPdem here with me, and in the person of Prince Rwang Jr., who is the national chairman of the Coalition for the Protection of Democracy. Prince, you're welcome to Njenje Media TV.
Thank you so much, Maazi, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Okay, thank you very much for being my guest. Now, let's quickly dive in. We've wasted a lot of time before now, so we will make it very, quick. And aside when I introduced you, or when I introduced the CoPdem, could you, in just 1 minute, tell us what CoPdem is? The formation and its objective. What does that stand for?
Okay. Yeah, CoPdem is a coalition for protection of democracy. It was birthed at the pronouncement of Mahmoud when we got to find that the elections were being somewhat thwarted. Let me be blunt here. And it came to be when six support groups from the general ObiDient movement thought of, why do we want to make it business as usual? When things happen like this, people go home and wait for another 4 years and then reconverge to be duped again, politically, I mean. So they decided to stay strong for one another. And these six support groups, including Women for P2OB, P2OB Support Movement, Doctors for P2OB, Up North Ambassadors, I think there's 2 more. So by and large, the country was covered. We had representation from every state, most of it. Now we have over 39 support groups within CoPdem, and CoPdem is open to membership of every Nigerian that is interested in good governance, that is interested in justice, the rule of law, and zero tolerance. To stand up for Nigeria. Any Nigerian who is interested, who has made Nigeria his priority bigger, apart from God, then Nigeria must work. They're all welcome to CoPdem. We started at that time, and it's 1 year plus, almost heading to the 2nd year. And I think we're doing real good. And basically, that's just a nutshell about CoPdem. We have had several programs, scholarships for tertiary institutions when things became hard for them. And we also had rice palliative reaching 1,400 families across 11 states of the Federation. We also had Icons of Democracy Awards, which was last year on the 11th of May, 2024, which doubled also as our media dinner, as well as our national convention. We lay emphasis on the capacity of building of capacity of all CoPdem members, especially the ESCO. And I think we've gained the traction we needed. And that's CoPdem in a nutshell, Maazi.
So thank you very much for that, quite brief introduction. Now, if I may ask, there was this alliance that happened with the ADC, and that alliance has raised a lot of dust. If I may ask, what informed that alliance at this point in time?
Okay. Like you said, we can be brief, but this one may take a little bit of chewing. CoPdem this office and that office, we don't have the platform. APC, PPP, and Labour Party, for people who will contest for reps, for Senate, for governor for 2027, those names have been penned down. So the son of nobody, you don't have a godfather, you don't have a place to progress. You must have somebody you run for ballot for, and then the person will anoint you or bless. It's like there's some remote control in most of them. So why don't we have a party of obedience, if we're able to do that, that will decide how the constitution is, that will decide who really mans positions within the party, that will bring out policies brilliant. The youth. So instead of jackpying, they have an opportunity to move into the Senate and reps. Representatives, they have ideas, technology-wise, they're sharp. We have very hard-working people, but they don't have a shot until they have a godfather. So the only other option was for us to look for a political party since we cannot have one, INEC apparently is not ready or willing to have one at this point, because any party they already signed, and I was definitely going to be opposition to APC. So we checked around the parties and we got ADC to have a mission and a vision that is similar to that of CoPdem. Zero tolerance for corruption. A new Nigeria is sure, Nigeria that works. And with the beautiful slogan, Arise and Shine Nigeria. And we also checked the antecedents in past elections. We looked at the kind of people that were associated with Congress, ADC. So good names, respected names. People like Patrick Twomey, people like ObiDient last year, and so on. And the names go on. So they have been careful. During the 2023 elections, they stood for the people. Their candidates didn't win, they used their machineries to work for people before the elections, seeing that they had somebody obedient in nature. So it was easy for us to have an understanding, to work together. CoPdem has the manpower, has the food where the food just in the ground, and really morally changed with that within the political space, with very little transaction in its nature. People were going for the people, and it was easy for us to come to an understanding, an MOU. So that is the foundation of the alliance. I can go further. ADC and CoPdem as this handshake to work together to form a formidable force, to encourage other ObiDients to join the coalition. Heavens knows, these people, everybody in Nigeria by now knows that you need a coalition of opposition parties to stand against the current APC-run government, not as enemies, but to have a level playing ground, to make it interesting, which we're actually already smelling all the signs and symptoms of the one-party state. When you begin to hear signs of dictatorialism, when you hear on your mandate we shall stand, when people are getting out of the country, best and brightest going out, when killings are still constant, and there's virtually nothing is done about it, when the economy is still nosediving and they're telling us it's still birthing. But the problem is only the masses that feel the birth pain. They don't. They get 20 million naira a month for the people they represent. So we are heading for a one-party state. When you begin to see people cross-carpeting who were voted on the platform of opposition parties, dovetailing and switching to the one-party government, that's how it starts.
Okay.
We don't want to end up like North Korea and places like that. We want to have a democratic Nigeria, and we have the capacity.
Okay.
So in order to do that, we need an opposition.
So some uninformed people would be questioning why ADC. Does that mean that part of the ObiDient movement are leaving Labour Party into ADC? While some are saying, well, at one of the tweets made by Peter Obi stated that ObiDients are not necessarily glued to Labour Party. So if there is any confusion as to CoPdem moving, striking an alliance with ADC, does that mean that CoPdem is leaving the ObiDient movement? I mean, where does that stand? Where is that clarity?
That's a very interesting question, Maazi. I heard it first time I heard something like that. I laughed. I didn't know CoPdem was that powerful to cause such a ripple in Nigeria, just because we identified with ADC. The the African Democratic Congress. So, no, CoPdem, like I said, was started by 6 support groups. In the history of Nigeria, that is when you had support groups springing out. And it was only when Peter Obi came out, we had, I think that is climax, 800 different support groups, people who were supporting mostly Peter Obi. And CoPdem started with 6, now we have over 39 big major stakeholders. Some may have state spread, some have zonal spread, others have a combination of zones. I don't think any support group is able to cover the entire country, but 39, we're all obedient to the core. Now, but I think there's a place that we need to make this clear. You cannot write the history of Nigeria without Peter Obi. Whether Peter Obi decides to contest in the 2027 elections or not, it is impossible. If you write that, you are not writing about Nigeria. But if you're writing, you must record 2023. You must remember the voice that spoke the yearnings of most Nigerians. You must remember that single voice that was able to break the dichotomy of godfathers and political lords, but appealed across religious lines, across ethnic lines, across party lines. Plateau State is known to be PDP, but in the presidential election, it was ObiDient. Benue State is known to be APC. Presidential election, it was ObiDient. So the term obedient, actually, I think it should get into the dictionary, the next dictionary for 2025, because though it was coined after Peter Obi, there is a difference between Peter Obi as a person and the obedient movement, who listened and identified Peter Obi as one who actually reflected their pains. There is no political party yet that is able to capture the number of obedience we have in Nigeria. We know that the results were squashed and they gave us 6 million. And I believe we doubled that. And no political party has 6 million members. So we have obedience transcends the number that we have. Obedience should be now a group of people who would now sit and hold government accountable. Obedience should now be a group of people who would monitor, who will take steps to ensure that democracy flows. Obedience in whatever party and whatever form they are, there should be people who are ready and pushing for a greater Nigeria. Thank God for Peter Obi, the name coined after him. Last example, sir. Imagine a scenario where probably 2023 or 2027, His Excellency Peter Obi decides, I don't want to contest anymore. And he moves, sits in London, enjoys his money, he has enough companies, enough wealth to take care of himself and his grandchildren. What would Nigerians do? Would we fall back to APC that we're suffering under, that seems almost clueless? Do we move to PDP that cannot hold a neck? Why? Some of their BOT members are in APC in public office. They can't really have a caucus. Or do we go to APC, to Labour Party that's controls, taking charge of decisions? The only party that is able to hold a convention without Congress is in any state. And yet people are following and thinking, we have held a convention. This is our national chairman. What does the we're all together. We're trying to be strategic in our approach. We're trying to create a window for anybody who is in any other party and feels we need to have a coalition on a clean slate where new people can come up. And they should come up now. So we have not departed from the obedience. Instead, we are the advanced party for the obedience. We are cleaning up ADC to make it sound, mobilizing people, to make it the party of the obedience. the party that will accommodate, the party that ObiDient will form the local, the ward level, local government level, state level, and the national officials. We believe that when such obedience come together, there will not be issue of agents not getting paid. There will not be issues of 1 million man match funds getting missing. There will not be issue of tossing.
So in essence,
when your tenure is all
Prince Rang Palm Jr., what you're saying is that CoPdem alliance with ADC is there to kind of complement the Labour Party if His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi will run on Labour Party. Is that what you're saying? So not that this is a separate party in essence, but it is a party.
Okay.
Is it an alliance that is there to complement whatever the ObiDient His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi is doing, that there is no cause for alarm, that everybody is on one page?
Okay, yeah, but there's no cause for alarm. I think I'd rather go with that term. We want the ADC to run as a democratic organization, which it is. But I will not speak for Labour, for the African Democratic Congress on issues that are left for the future. But we believe that wherever the most 2023, that the parties who could collapse their structures and direct them to vote to the most competent person. ADC demonstrated that in 2023. I don't think anything will stop it from doing that in 2027. So we are never anti-obedient. We are 100% obedient in such a free Nigeria.
That is indeed reassuring, obviously. For obvious reason, it is reassuring to hear that. Now, what future plans are there for CoPdem? What are the long-term goals in terms of fostering a prosperous and democratic Nigeria? What is CoPdem bringing to the table?
Well, generally, CoPdem is going to be bringing to the table the democratic landscape. One, a platform where we feel that we have been able to establish for all obedience to people who are not having the opportunity to test and grow. That is in ADC. Now, a section of CoPdem are very much aligned into moving with ADC, and already we're almost in most of the states. We have a meeting on that later this night. For CoPdem, core CoPdem, which is the mission and vision of a new Nigeria, CoPdem has a few things put together to continue reaching out to the masses, to continue its awareness. Like on the part of the awareness, CoPdem has 6 national committees. National Legal Committee. We have the Welfare Committee, Media Committee, the Women and the Youth Committee, and Political Committee. So the Joint Action Reform Committee has already laid down our drive towards electoral reform, because there has to be a considerable shift from results, from the way the 2023 elections went. There has to be a shift, a departure from that norm to a more improved way of navigating or conducting elections. And that reforms. We need it to be, example, mandatory for INEC to transmit results blind. How about the INEC being compelled to just bring the results that is with her, and not normally burden of proof will fall on someone who feels aggrieved. But INEC once there's a need for them to release results to any party, they should be able to do so within a specified time. And now about no swearing in until on our way, like in all other clients. So CoPdem will continue to further strengthen and this time speak louder than before.
Okay.
National assemblies as well as the grassroots. We also have capacity building for people, CoPdemites and Nigerians at large, and also our scholarship programs for students, as we always continue. As much as we can, we could come with intervention on palliatives. But creating awareness, we have the Vote Right project that we're starting in Anambra and Edeh, encouraging people to come out, to not give up, because 2023 was just the first round of the battle, and we intend to have a lockout in 2027, and as we bounce back. So, big voter app, must vote your conscience. People need that awareness. CoPdem is not relenting, and will use all means legally possible to pursue those.
Okay, thank you very much, Rangpam Junior. Thank you once more. That's a very fine place to leave this conversation this evening. It's been a pleasure. Thank you once more for joining me. So
it's a pleasure, mine, Maazi. Thank you so much for having me.
okay, you're welcome. Thank you very much. So, viewers, thank you. That's been my conversation with Rangpam Junior. That's the person in charge of CoPdem. Now, this conversation this evening is going to go further because I'm going to be having another group of young Nigerians that are joining me from the home branch. And this is going to be about sports. Now, I have two individuals that will be joining me for this segment. In the studio already, at the back office, is Blessing Ezeokoli. Jack, you're welcome. Jack, can you hear me?
Thank you so much, Maazi. Good evening. Good to be here. Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, good evening. So, in this edition of my Friday Hangout, this segment, as usual, I'm your host, and we are here to explore the transformative effort in Nigerian football management through the lens of Ijele Sports Club. We are honored to have Blessing Ezeokoli, also known as Jack, who is a director at Ijele Sports Club and also a co-founder of TakeBackNaija initiative, to discuss the innovative approach to sports management and development. So, Jack, let's quickly start. I can see that your colleague has left the studio. So I wish Victor can join us back.
Yeah, definitely. Victor will join back.
Okay.
Maybe his network here where he is at the moment.
Okay, so let's quickly start. My first question to you, for those watching us now, and they know about football clubs, or rather club management in Nigeria, what is Ijele Sports Club? What makes it different from any other sports club in Nigeria?
Okay. Thank you so much, Maazi. Good evening to the viewers across the world. So, the reality is that football or sport in general, because Ijele is about sport. It's not just it's not just a football club, right? It's a sports club, and what we are trying to do is very simple. Nigeria as a country at the moment is saturated with a lot of clubs that are either owned by individuals or owned by the state government, and largely in most largely they are all being mismanaged. And the reason is because sport is actually business, but in Nigeria it's treated as a social sector, right? So you don't really see a serious approach to sport development and what it can contribute to the economy. And so what we have decided to do at Ijele, after being frustrated with what the government is doing and what few individuals are doing, is to come up and say, look, we can actually come up with a club that will be owned by the people. So the whole idea of Ijele bo nnukwu mmọnwụ, for those of you that are Igbos, you understand that, nnukwu mmọnwụ means masquerade. So in our heart, what Ijele is to us is a big masquerade that is coming from Africa that will accommodate every single individual. So what we are building is an institution, is an ecosystem, right? That can accommodate everybody, from sports journalists, to sports media people, to talent, that is football talents, to managers, to teachers, and everything. So what we want to do with Ijele is to say, okay, we can have a club that will be owned by our people, but will be owned by Nigerians. Now, if you look across the world, some of the most profitable clubs across the world, or some of the most biggest clubs across the world, like Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Barcelona, they are not owned by individuals. Neither are they owned by government. They are mostly owned by fans. So this is what we are trying to replicate in Nigeria. We want to build a sports institution that will be owned by members, that people can own. For example, the listener that is watching us right now can be a part owner of Ijele. Now, this is what we are trying to do. So if you go to the most profitable club in the world at the moment is Bayern Munich, it has reported profit for the past 33 years. And so what we have done over time is to say, how do we copy the model of these clubs here that works? How do we copy the model that works across the world? What is this thing that has made Bayern Munich to be profitable over the years? And that is what Ijele is trying to represent. So Ijele is going to be that club in Nigeria. At the moment, there is no club in Nigeria at the moment that currently has over 100 members that as owners. Is only Ijele. So what we did at Ijele was to first of all build what we call a membership system that allows people, individuals, corporate bodies to own a share and be part of the success that we want to build. We want to be able to build an institution that will be owned by nobody. And in 100 years' time, we can say that this club still stands because it's not built around an individual. If you look at Ali Igbo, for example, let's take Southeast for example, you see that there was a club called the Wanyangu FC. At some point, the Wanyangu got tired, and government bought it over from him, and it's now the current Rangers you have. You notice that we had Udoji FC. Udoji got tired, and the club died a natural death. You notice that we had Ifeanyuba FC, the most recent one. Ifeanyuba got tired, and the club was dissolved. So we have seen that individuals running football is not sustainable. So what we're trying to do is to be able to get, as much individuals as possible to be involved and own a stake in this club and be part of the membership of the club. So what we are doing is just a direct copy of what is happening at Barcelona, or what is happening in Real Madrid, and what is happening in Bayern Munich, where these clubs are owned by individuals and fans, the people that are regarded as members, as at being owned by individual or government.
Okay.
I think, yeah, thank you.
So, listening to what you're saying and the new concept that you guys want to bring in with the Ijele Sports Club, I think that, if I recall, there were other sports clubs in Nigeria before then, right? Maybe they are no longer there. Maybe the management approach that you guys are trying to bring is quite different. My question to you is, by this approach you guys are bringing in, what are the new, what is your strength so far? Okay. So if you're saying that the Ijele club is to be owned by the people by, I believe, by direct subscription, how far have you gone with that approach to now?
Okay. Yeah,
I can hear
Maazi,
you.
thank you for the question. Talking about how far we have gone. So first of all, let me say that at the moment we are currently competing in 3 competitions. We are currently playing in the Nigeria NNL, which is the 2nd division league. We are currently also playing in FA Cup, Nigerian FA Cup, which is we have finals tomorrow against Rangers Football Club of Enugu at the Cathedral tomorrow. That's the final game in FA Cup. And then most recently, we are one of the few clubs that was selected to play, that was invited to play in Viareggio Cup. Now, Viareggio Cup is the biggest youth competition across the world. It's hosted in Italy every single year, and we have been invited to play in that cup. So we will be participating this year from March 17th to 22nd. So what we have done over time is that we have built sporting excellence, right? We are currently 7th on the NNL league table, and then we are competing in the Nigerian football, like I said. So we have done so much, right? As a club, as a new club that just started in less than 1 year, we are already playing final in FA Cup. We are already going to Italy, and that is because of the
Is
serious.
that second league or first division you guys are playing?
Yeah, no, like I said, we are playing in the 2nd division league
Okay.
In the Nigerian Premier League. Yes, it's called the NNL. That's what we are
Okay.
competing at.
So the second division, do you have Rangers as second division? I thought Rangers are on first
No,
division.
Rangers is playing 1st division. I said that we are going to play FA Cup. Now, FA Cup is like another competition.
Okay.
It's called Federation Cup, yeah. So we are playing FA Cup with Rangers tomorrow because we had, beaten every other team, and then we've qualified for final. So we are going to be playing final tomorrow with Rangers, and so we are potentially going to lift our first trophy as a football club, as a sport club tomorrow against Rangers if we win the game, right?
And
Now,
where is that game going to be played?
sorry.
Where is that game? Enugu or
Yeah,
where?
the game is going to be played at Cathedral. That's Nnamdi Azikiwe International Stadium in Enugu.
Okay.
Yes, that's actually our home turf. That's where we play our home matches as well, right? First of all, we are the only NNL club that plays in a 22,000 capacity stadium in the whole country. There's no NNL team that plays in such a big facility that we play currently. So we have done so much as a club, trying to mainstream ourselves into the Nigerian league, into the Nigerian football. But what is more important to us, however, is not just about football. We are interested in volleyball. We have a team ready to kickstart in volleyball. We are interested in volleyball. Like I said, we are interested in basketball. We are interested in all other sports. One of our strategic goals as a team, as a club, is to ensure that we have athletes and participants from our club going into going into the Olympics in 2027, in 2028 in LA, right? This is one of our strategic goals as a club. So, like I said, what we are trying to do is to change how sport is being administered. We want to run sports like a proper business. We want people to see that we can profitably run a club in Nigeria if we only do the right things. So what we are doing at the moment is to form partnerships, right? We currently have a partner called Fonzi. It's an event ticketing platform and a fintech company. And, we are activating fan base in Enugu. We are building our own fan base. But however, what we are interested in is telling especially young people and Nigerians across board, is that you can actually be a part owner of a club. You don't just need to be a fan. You can be a part owner. And so you can join Ijele and become a part owner of the club and not just a fan.
And
So when dividends
how
are,
does that happen?
yes. Sorry?
How does, I mean, if people watching now want to be part of that, what do they do?
Exactly. Okay, so how they do that is very simple. We have a website called ijelesportmembership.ng. If you click on ijelesportmembership.ng, or you can go to our main website www.ijelesportclub.ng, you're going to see membership and you can join and become a member. So once you our membership structures you can pay 25,000 yearly to be a member of Ijele, or you can pay 175,000 to be a lifetime member. So if you pay 175,000, you become a lifetime member of the club. Now this means that at every given point in time, every year, the club management comes to the members and say, this is the profit we have made this year as a club, right? So the members decide how the money is going to be spent. The members decide if they want the money to be distributed to members as dividends, or they decide, oh, we want to use it to build a facility, or we can use it to go into real estate, or we can use it to build a sporting facility, or maybe a stadium somewhere. So this is what is obtainable across the world, and we are trying to replicate that in Nigeria with Ijele. So that is what we have been doing over time. The club is going to be transferring players. One of the main reasons why we are taking our under-19 team to Italy on the 17th of March is because that is where you have the best scouts across the world. So in those kind of competitions, you have top clubs across the world coming to look for players they are going to sign. So we are interested in doing proper business, proper sport business. So we will be transferring players, across the world and making money like every other club across the world will make. So that is what Ijele is trying to do at the moment. Thank you.
Wow. So up to now, I mean, obviously, Ijele is a new club, but I do not assume that Ijele has been able to sell any player internationally, even within the continent. Has that happened?
Oh, okay. So funny enough, we have a player potentially moving to Enimba number one. Um, he just completed his medicals, but that has not been announced officially. We also have players that are outbound. Now, I'll give you an example. Because our chairman and the GM of the club has been involved in sports business for a long time in Nigeria. They had academies, right? So we have players that played for Ijele that are already on their way to Serbia and on their way to Netherlands. So we have two players that have completed trials and they are potentially moving and will be announced. Okay, so this is what we have at the moment, and that will be, some of those things will be announced as time goes on. And let me state, this is very important for me to say, that we have notable Nigerians as members of Ijele. We have a lot of notable Nigerians that are members of the club. And I'll give you an example. His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi, the former presidential candidate of Labour Party, is actually a member of Ijele. The current Minister of Youth in Nigeria, Ayodele Wisdom, is also a member of Ijele. The owner of so we have a couple of top members of Ijele Sports Club that are littered across the world. You can be a member, you can be a honorary board member, you can be a honorary president for one of our sports. So we have all of those things, and like I said, we are just less than we are about 7 months in operation as a club, and we are making all of those moves and all of those connections already. So you can imagine what we are going to do in 2 years, in 3 years time, because we are very serious minded. The management understands what sports administration is all about. But let me say this is very important. I need to make this point, that the chairman and the GM of Ijele respectively are the 2 out of 3 Nigerians with UEFA certification in sports administration. This means that there are only 3 Nigerians that have gone to UEFA Academy in Switzerland to study sports administration, and 2 of them are actually at the helm of affairs of Ijele. 2 of them are managing Ijele. So this means that we have people that understand sports administration and understand how to make money from sports. They are the ones at the helm of affairs of this club. So you can never
Okay.
get it better in any other place. Thank you.
Now, walk me through. Obviously, for the viewers, we have just logged on to the website here. It says ijelesportsclub.ng. Now,
Yes.
I'm at the membership page. I can
Yes.
see 2 million.
Yes.
25,000.
Yes.
That
That is the regular membership. Yeah.
regular membership. What does that
Annual
give you?
membership. Yes. Annual membership. Okay. So there's only one type of membership actually. If you're a member, you're a member. But 25,000 is annually, right? Then
So
lifetime membership, yes. So if you want to be paying every year to be a member of Ijele, it's 25,000. Now, across the world, what is obtainable? Like I told you, what we have copied is a model that is working across the world. Now, if you pay 25,000 for 10 years for any club, you automatically become a life member. So, but what we have done is we are saying that instead of you paying 250,000, which translates to 25,000 in 10 years, we have
150,000.
subsidized this. We have further subsidized this to 175,000, and say if you can pay 175,000, we are going to make you a lifetime member, so you don't need to pay again to be a member of Ijele.
Until you
And what
die.
this gives you, yes, and what this gives you, like I said earlier, is that it allows you to be able to vote on decisions of the club. You're going to be getting, membership benefits as well. Benefits like discounts on our jerseys, discounts on our match day tickets. If you want to come and watch our games and everything, you're going to get. Our academies are going to kickstart very soon. So if you have a child or you have a son or a daughter that wants to participate in our academies, you're going to get discounts because you're a member. But most importantly, you're also going to get a share of the club's profits. So the club is currently 98% owned by members. So which means that 98% of the club ownership or the club profit is going to go to the membership association. So the people that are members that subscribe to be a member at the moment are going to get that benefit if they subscribe as at now. And this, for like I said, these are pre-sale offers because we have not officially unveiled the club to the world, which will happen very soon. And when we do that unveiling, the prices might change. Now, if you also look at the membership, you notice that there's what we call honorable board membership. You will also notice that we have what we call honorable president. Now, honorable board membership are simply for those that want to support us. Let's assume, it's an honorary role. So let me assume that we have people talking to us, listening to us, and they feel like, oh, I like what you people are doing, but 175k is too much, or is small money for me to support you with. I think I can do much more than that. You can say, okay, I want to be an honorary board member. It's an honorary role. What that gives you is that it allows you to participate in, for example, we are going to Italy. As an honorary board member, you can join the team. You have access to the team. You have access to exclusive information. You'll be recognized on our page as an honorary board member. You will get special treatment whenever you visit our match and everything. So these are some of the benefits associated with it. You understand?
So the one that rings bell to my ears as an only board member. So if you guys have said you're playing in Italy, and when I join the team, do I have to pay for the travel myself, or that covers it for me?
Sincerely, at the moment, of course, the club is a new club and we really don't have capacity to be able to fly our honorable board members across the world for now. So I would say the answer to that question is that you would have to foot your bill, sir. For now.
Okay.
Yes.
So Anyway, let's not get into the merit or demerit of it, but it's quite interesting. Now, would you talk me through you said there is going to be the volleyball and the basketball team. So
Yes.
how far have you gone with that?
Okay, so at the moment we have teams already. We have a basketball team set up in Enugu. We have a volleyball team set up in Owerri. But you know that in Nigeria, volleyball, basketball are seasonal sports. It's not like football that is played week in, week out. So I will give you an example. Nigerian Basketball League happens within a period of 2 months. So, for example, if the league is going to be played in Asaba, it is structured, and then in 2 months maximum, the league has started and it has finished in Asaba. You understand? And the same thing with volleyball. So they are all seasonal sports. So when the season comes, we participate in that as a team. And then when the season is off, everybody goes their, our players and, our team goes their way. So at the moment, we have a volleyball team in Owerri, like I said. We have a basketball team in Enugu. That's the main basketball team, male basketball team. But
Male or female?
what we want to do,
Is that the
male for
okay.
now, right? Yeah, male for now. So we
Mm.
haven't been able to structure a female basketball team and even a female football team. We have not been able to put that together because you know that sport is also capital intensive, and we need to understand this, right? Sport is very capital intensive. It costs a lot of money to even, structure and run even this football that we are running at the moment. But it is our personal belief that this is the only way to open up and create jobs for young people in our region. Because right now, as I speak to you, Ijele employs almost close to 60 people, from players to club coaches, to trainers, to logistics people, to media and everything. So Ijele somehow engages close to 50 people. So we can imagine when we have, viable teams littered everywhere, like football, like academy and everything. You see that our target is that in the next 5 years, we must have been able to engage at least 1,000 people in our ecosystem. And for us, we see the, creation of job part of it as very important and very vital to what we are going to do as a club. So we are not just coming in to be like every other club. We want to provide sustainable jobs. We want to, create an ecosystem that allows tourism to thrive, right? Because again, the more people are coming in to Ali Igbo to watch Ijele and to watch our activities, it is promoting tourism. And these are the things we are looking at. We just want to create a sustainable ecosystem. We want to be able to give hope to young people because there are a lot of young people that are littered everywhere in Nigeria, particularly in our region, that don't have hope. So you can imagine when they know that there's a pathway for them through sport, through football, through basketball, through volleyball, through athletics. You understand? So we are creating and giving them hope that Nigeria can work. And for us, this is far much fundamental and important to us as a team than every other thing. Yeah.
Okay, before I let you go, in the 2023, in the 2022-2023 election, you were an active participant in the
Yes.
mobilization that eventually
Yes.
metamorphosed into the ObiDient movement. So
Yes.
you are the co-convener of TakeBackNaija initiative, right?
TakeBackNaija movement. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
TakeBackNaija movement. Okay. Now the question is, looking at how Nigeria is today, considering what you are also doing at the sideline, which is being part of this Ijele Sports Club, how do you think that the experiences gained in the mobilization of youth to come out for election will play a role in mobilizing youth to also get involved in football, maybe
This sport.
it might in sports that might eventually edge them to a brighter future? You think
Yeah,
politics and sports are marriable?
yeah. So for me, as an individual, I'm really entrenched and desperate to see young people engage, right? And one of the main reasons why I decided to focus on sports, after the election, is because I have thousands of young people littered across the country that I have given hope that Nigeria can work. And then the next question in their mind is, how do we move from here, right? What are the next things we need to do? And have seen sport as a tool of youth engagement, right? I I I I so much believe that Nigeria as a country has not really tapped into, how do I put it, the youth power in this country. There's a lot that young people can do, but the government has always neglected and had not really paid attention to things that can engage young minds, right? Like entertainment, investing in it, tourism, investing in it, sport, investing in it. And so, for me as an individual, I know that an idle mind is a devil's workshop. And so what I'm doing now in getting involved in sports is my own role as a leader, right, in the movement. And in the 2023, as a major stakeholders in the 2023 election, I felt that, God will not even forgive me if I abandon the young people that have motivated across the country and allow them, because I know that some of them lost their businesses, some of them lost their livelihoods, during the process. So it is my own commitment to, ensuring that Nigeria works, ensuring that we continue to engage young people positively. That is also part of the reason why I decided to get involved in sport, because it's not like this is the only place. In short, this is time consuming. It is also, resources, more demanding in terms of resources. But I chose this path because I understand the effects of this particular, niche for me in trying to pull young people out of the street and trying to engage them meaningfully in the society. So for me, it is important that we continue to engage young people. It is important that we ensure that we don't allow young people to just fend for themselves, because some of them, don't know any better. So we need to redirect them. We need to engage them productively, and that is what I'm trying to do with sport. Because for me, this is the lowest. Should I say this is the, how do I put it? This is the most cost effective way for me to get involved in trying to promote and get young people, engaged across the country. Because the next thing, if you don't engage them, they are going to start thinking about, different vices in the society. Is either they are smoking, or they are looking for women to pursue around, or they are looking for, somebody's things to steal, or some of those sorts. But I believe that even those of them that did not make it to the team, they can be fans. They can learn other things. We are partnering with an education platform called Univad to engage our members in other parts of sports that are not necessarily football. You can be a sport journalist and you make a lot of money. You can be an agent and you make a lot of money. You can be a scout and you make a lot of money. There are so many things you can be in, the sport ecosystem. And this is what we are trying to, encourage young people to get involved in this ecosystem, because in Nigeria it is untapped. You can be a referee, you can be a there's so many things you can be something around. You can create content around sports. It's a lot of money. People that are doing it across the world are making a lot of money. So these are the things that I'm trying to do from my own side, looking at the economy, looking at our realities today, looking at the disappointment of 2023 for a lot of young people that got involved. The fact that, the candidate that most young people supported did not win the election. Looking at all of those things, I felt that it is important that we find a way to engage them, and that is why I'm getting involved, and that is why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Thank you
Thank
very
you so
much.
much.
Thank you very much. It's been my pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Sadly, one your colleague couldn't join us back. It's been my conversation on this Friday hangout with myself. Been speaking to Mr. Blessing Ezeokoli, also known as Jack the Builder, who is a director at the Ijele Sports Club and also the co-founder of TakeBackNaija movement. Jack, thank you very much for being my guest.
Thank you so much, Maazi. I appreciate it. God bless you.
Okay, God bless you. Good night. So, people, that's the much I can take for this Friday hangout. As usual, I tried as much as possible to stay this conversation under 1 hour. Again, I do appeal to you to bear with us for the first segment where the audio was a little bit wonky. I did know that, but because it was a different connectivity, which was on Zoom, trying to bring it in here, then had an audio lapse. But hey, we promise to make it better next time. Thank you very much once more. I am still Maazi Ezeoke, and I say to you, good night, and may God bless us all.